America, planet Earth, what's good? This is your boy Codell, and welcome back to another episode of the Father's Gospel Podcast. We have a great episode today. We're going to be interviewing Dave Weigel. Again, we just interviewed him about a week or two ago, and he hit me up with some very important information that he wants to share with we the people. So, Dave, welcome back, brother. How you doing?
I'm okay, man. Oh God, wow, a lot of stuff going on. That's just really just wild, big stuff. But I'm trying to stay kind of grounded and process it the right way with no sleep.
Right, right.
Which is
Yeah, definitely
always a
know about
challenge.
the no sleep.
Sleep. Who sleeps these days, huh? Who sleeps?
Sleep when we're dead, right?
Exactly. Well, apparently that's the plan.
Right. So you've got this lady, and I didn't get a chance to deep dive into it, but I did read through it last night. This woman, what is her name?
Her name is Monica Ciardi, who is a 110-pound mother of four in New Jersey, who's a firecracker.
Okay,
Typical Jersey broad. I grew up there, so I can say that and with love.
nice.
As just I love a feisty little Italian woman. It
There
reminds
you go. So
reminds me reminds
what
me of home.
what's going on with this lady? Because she's got some issues going on with the courts, right? With what, CPS or family courts or something along those lines?
It's the family courts, and I feel bad smiling, but I can't, there's so much negativity with it. I can't just live there constantly because she's being murdered. She's being taken through the same system that I've now realized that thousands of people in this country have been through. And I feel also ashamed because I'm privileged, obviously in New York City, and all that. Um, and I know what I've been through, but I'm getting contacted and having conversations with people all over the country, and hearing the same fucking story.
No,
Because
you're good, dude. Don't
I'm
even
good.
worry
I'm
about
good
it.
on that one. All right.
Yeah, you're good, bro.
Throw me
Yeah,
on the Father's Gospel thing there.
we don't censor here. Yes, I am a Christian, but I'm more of the flip the tables Jesus type Christian. So I
Why
like
we
to
love you,
fight.
baby. That's why we love you. Um, yeah, I'm trying to just breathe a little sigh of relief. I just hit send on basically calling out some of the most corrupt judges in the most corrupt town in New Jersey. I mean, I've got clients that are lawyers, retired lawyers, that from around the country that know of this town in New
Right.
Jersey as the most corrupt. Just they the exact quote I heard was, "There's not a person in the courthouse that is not a criminal." Okay, now I feel horrible because I'm sure there are people in that courthouse that are not. It really speaks to who's got control of the snake, right?
Right.
We've had this conversation, Cadell, that it's the system, it's the structure. Okay, they didn't circulate a memo around the country. All right, they just were able to smell. There's no cop on the beat. All right, we figured it out. We fine-tuned this thing where we can just engage in this industry of abuse, of,
Right.
of hijacking lives, of destroying lives. And I think this Monica, the reason why we at the Warrior Project have just shifted over to a 100% focus on this woman right now is just to try and save her life. Okay, we're trying
So
to.
what's being done to her? Can you explain that to people? What's
Yeah,
going on?
yeah, thank you. It's hard because, as you know, these things, they're so complex all the time. It's very difficult to 9-second it. Um,
Right.
but the reality is, this woman is being persecuted and killed. Okay, she's been in jail for over 180 days for her Facebook posts. Okay,
Wow.
period. End of story. Did she freak out? Okay, and be an emotional woman? I'm sorry, okay, but that's what women do. They talk to their girlfriends, okay, and they
Right.
talk a lot. All right. And the documentation is sickening that, oh, because she talked so much. She first got arrested a year ago because she didn't use quotation marks on her post talking about the judge saying, do what I want or I'm going to take your kids. So it came out on the Facebook post that she was saying it. Meanwhile, the judge's kids are 50 years old. Okay. She's a 110-pound woman. She's not going to take it. It's fucking a crime. And these bastards sit there and think that it's their privilege. It's their privilege. And they got everybody in this sea of fear. And it's a 5'4" fathead freaking dork that we all beat up in high school. And that's the
Yeah.
purpose of it. Okay. And that's the reason. All right. Do you know, I got a little fun fact for you. Do you know that it's historical fact that Hitler had a deformity of like a 2-inch penis? Did you know that?
Yeah, I couldn't remember what the deformity is, but yeah, I remember hearing
It was
about that.
actually
Yeah.
recorded as a body dysphoria. Okay, like or whatever the word is. But like, I love genius in its simplicity. Okay.
Yeah.
They pick people for these spots that are horrific human beings that come from horrific shit that are exactly the people you don't give power over to. And
Right.
they are unleashed in this family court system with this thing called judicial discretion, right?
Right.
But the thing, listen, we are just jumping to the point. She had a case yesterday. We had a whole bunch of court watchers in there. They did a dog and pony show about showing this one judge that let us in and was polite to her. And she was the head judge, had no reason to refer to another judge. And then referred it to him, Judge Ali, and he blocked everybody's constitutional right to transparency and just fucking committed fraud.
So were they
Fraud.
stopping people from being able to attend the court?
That's right. And he
Okay.
basically sent a message because he knew, all right, I've already been contacted by the Sheriff's County Sheriff's Department. We're holding a protest outside the Morris County Courthouse on Valentine's Day because that was supposed to be one of her dates. That's now changed. It's now much more like a vigil, okay, a Valentine's Day vigil, but we're making it a press conference. We're making
Right.
it a show up in protest for adults. Okay. This isn't for kids to show up and throw bottles. Okay. This is for thoughtful Americans that have a sense of understanding what's at stake with this rule of law and how safe we all are not in
Right.
this world, in this country, with this system that we are all exposed to. A fun fact, Codell? Today is February 12th, right? 2025.
Right.
Yeah, I was served February 12th, 2012. 14-year anniversary in my divorce abuse in New
Oh,
York.
wow. Okay.
I think I'm in the running for a record. I think I'm in
Yeah.
a, I don't know anyone that has gone longer than this. And I still ain't dead, bitch.
Right. Yeah, no, man, you've been fighting through it. So you're having this press conference this coming what,
Friday.
Friday?
Yeah,
Friday.
two,
Okay, cool, cool.
two
And
days.
so are you going to be speaking on what's going on at the press conference, and what courthouse is this at?
Yeah, it's Morris County Courthouse in Morristown, New Jersey. It's about
Okay.
25 miles away from me. And it's from 11 till 1. We're having a podium with amplification set up that, like I said, the sheriff's department called me yesterday, heard about the protest. It's gone out on all the wires. And the one thing that I really wanted to get into with you today that could never be summed up in just a soundbite is how and why all the victims, the hundreds, thousands of victims that I know from this system, the one thing that I've been introduced to is how disparate we are, how all these different groups are around the country, all fighting David versus Goliath,
Yep.
and and I've experienced what's at stake, the dynamic between why we all can't get on the same page. And look, I honestly have very low expectations about who's going to show up. In a way, I think, maybe, a whole bunch of just regular, New Jersey friends. I mean, I'm from there, might show up because I've been telling this story for 2 years, and I've got some smart friends that have been glued into this and understand how big this is. But the general history of these things, I'm not new in this world. Okay, there's been people, Griffiths, that have been trying to do this, and people generally don't show up. And and
Right.
and the question is why, right?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, let me just give you kind of my like theory on that. I mean, so here's like, and I'm talking about dads mainly with this, is I think what happens is when dads get in the family courts, and this is not an excuse, what I'm about to say, because I don't take this as a justifiable excuse, but dads get so mentally, emotionally, financially, and spiritually beat down
Well,
that they end up putting themselves in this mind state where they're just hoping eventually the judges, commissioners, whatever, are going to treat them with kindness and respect. But what they don't realize, or I even think a lot of them realize they just don't want to acknowledge, is that these judges and commissioners, that they don't look, a lot of them don't look at the dads as being valuable to their family and their children. And when that's the philosophy they have, it is absolute insanity to ever expect these judges and commissioners to actually do what's right. And then what you were saying a moment ago, just about, this is going on all over the country, thousands of parents, mainly dads, all that stuff. Well, what dads need to realize is attacking this individually, it's got to end, because when it's just this random people all over the place, this state, this town, whatever, and they're trying to take everything on by themselves, it does not intimidate the courts. It does not intimidate the government, because it's basically playing whack-a-mole. And so what dad's got to realize, especially, is this needs to become a team sport with all of us. And we need to attack the system, through legislature, through suing the courts, every avenue, through media, getting the information out there. But yeah, that's kind of just how I feel about that. But please go on.
I
Sorry.
think no, I think it's a very astute, assessment of it. I will say, and I'm not, Johnny, you know, uh, uh, you know, uh, you know, let's all not be divisive. But the reality is, I reached out to many parental alienation support groups and narcissist abuse, specialists. And now the last couple of months, with that one video to Doge and the Inspector General going viral, there's way, way, way more women in this abuse cycle than I thought. But I think what people miss in this is that the tactics they use against men are different than the tactics they use against women. And I think sometimes that they can look, I mean, you're in this thing long enough, you're peeling enough layers back where you're just having realizations. I mean, I started this, I thought, okay, well, it's going to be about 66% legal and 33% fraud, bullshit lawyer shit. And I was like, oh, wow, no, then it was, the other way, 33, 66. It took a while before I realized, oh my God, the emperor has no clothes, right? Like these people talk to me. I mean, the most common thing that I've gotten from almost everyone is, oh, I've got a brief in a RICO and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And everything is a legal process. And I'm like, guys, look at the numbers. You're literally saying we've tried this 10,000 times before, and there's not a 1% success ratio. There's zero.
Right.
There's not one that has been successful. Say that over and over again in your mind until that sinks in, so that you have this light bulb moment and say, the emperor really has no clothes. It does it. You're not going to win a legal anything in this. I understand. What else are you going to do? All right. I've been lucky enough to have my stuff picked up by the media. And I've seen this, and I've seen this work. I've seen my First Amendment right work. Okay, I work with a specialist on the parental alienation side from England, actually, and he's been doing this more than 15 years, and almost 1,000 families he's counseled.
Wow.
I said to him, I said, Charlie, I said, how many people do you know have seized their kids back through force, the way I did, or anyway? And he goes like this.
Yeah.
Dave, you are the first. You're the first in my experience, in my history of everyone that I know that has, because initially his excuse, his advice was, Dave, give this up. You're just going to anger, make it worse. I said, I can't. I was like, they've stolen my kids. I don't know this. I'm going after them. I know this is a crazy off the wall, off the beaten path way to go. I was warned against this. Okay. Oh my God, you're going to go public with your family's dirty laundry. I was like, at some point, it's your civic duty to report a crime.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep. Yep.
crimes against children, okay, that are going on. Get over your privacy issue, people. And we formed this Family Court Fraud Warrior Project only a couple of weeks ago when I first spoke to you. And,
Yeah.
thankfully we've got like 400 people, in there now, but nobody takes the time to look at the feature or read the rules or see our mission or anything. And, as you'd expect, most people are expressing, mental health issues. They want to talk about it. They want to send you an 18-page text, okay, about their
Right.
entire case with documents attached. Like, what do you think I'm going to do? I'm going to read all, but I was there. Okay.
Right. So was I.
I
Yeah.
was the guy that was
Right.
sending the 18-page text. And I didn't see it when I was in it. Like, I knew there was something off with me, but I was so convinced I had every reason, because I was so justified with my anger and rage. And the reality is that the psychological mindset that we've seen here is that of a prisoner, right? The he's held the carrot out in front of me and chopped my head off and stabbed me 1,000 times in a row, but the 1,001st, he's like, there's Munchausen's, or Stockholm syndrome. These are real syndromes,
Yes.
these
Yes,
are
they
very,
are.
very real syndromes. And one thing I just realized with how everyone just wants to be in control, and no one, I thought, like, I'm expecting people to say, oh, this guy Weigel likes to hear himself talk. He wants to see himself on, on the boob tube. And look, okay, we all do, all right, but I've come at this and from such an authentic place. I've always checked myself at, is this the right thing to do for my kids? I'm
Yep.
not looking for a dime in this thing. I'm spending money. I'm hiring people. Okay. I'm helping out victims, okay, on a daily basis. And I just thought people would just get over their like, he's a Wall Street Journal, and look at my behavior, what I've done.
Right.
But, it really just lends itself that I really think what's gone on here, Godel, is Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? Like, there's food, there's water, and there's what? Safety.
Right. Yep.
Safety. What they've robbed from all of us is a sense of safety. And
And that's what they always attack. They always want to try to manipulate you through basically, if you do this, you'll be safe. But please go on.
yeah, no, but the whole thing is to make, it is this constant abuse, this conditioning of abuse that over time, like this Montechiarti case, okay, the ridiculousness of this. She was picked up for her Facebook quotes. People started talking about it too much, and then now they're holding her based upon them manufacturing a broken brain and then ad hoc arguing that that's the reason why she's in jail. They
And
caused it.
it's
They're
so
causing
crazy.
the abuse. And then now there's a thing that's called your SPD, your public safety score. Oh God, yeah, I'm sure this
Dude,
is
that sounds like some
right out
communist
of the
right
science
there.
books. That one is right. Like anything else that isn't self-serving as a business model.
Well, and here's the thing, too. Let me ask you this. So she has how many kids?
4 kids. She's got a
Four
little
kids,
5-year-old.
right.
She's got a
Now,
5-year-old.
folks, don't quote me on this, but So, and this is just me speculating. Here's the thing. So, CPS, for every kid that they can get adopted, they make something between $4,000 to $8,000 per child that they can basically take away and get adopted. And so, again, just like with the family courts with dads, there's a financial incentive there and motivation to break up these families.
I
But
saw
please,
someone put numbers together that it was $1 million, okay, in total costs per special needs kid. Okay, you want to know why CPS is stealing your kids and trying to get them adopted or trying to get them into some special programming? When every whore takes their little piece of the pie of the government gravy train,
right.
$3.6 billion in Title IX reimbursements from the federal government of the states pays all these special, preferred providers and frauds and
Yep.
just low life scumbag fraud. Like I work with some therapists, and here's the math. Okay, I'm a math guy. I'm a numbers guy. If you
Okay.
are a top level therapist, I work with, it's my brain coaches. Okay, there are professional athletes that work with their body and have coaches. Okay, there are people that work with their brains. All right, and consider themselves a professional athlete with their brain, and we have brain coaches. I've been working with a gentleman, Tom Horvath, out in California, widely known as one of the smartest guys out there. And you know what? I'm not going to get into his business or whatever, but I know he's only making a fraction of the money that if he sold his soul to the devil to the courts and said, "Oh yeah, 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 I'll say parental alienation is a myth," okay, which I just
Ugh,
that just blows my. It's a myth. Yeah, all these organic groups are developing all over the world over a myth.
right. Right.
Yeah. Duh. I mean, but it's like, I mean, that's the other thing too, is that there's just, it's chaos theory, right? It's a shit show everywhere. So you can't go beginning to end, complete the cycle on dealing with anything because you're putting out fires everywhere else. And the thing that I'm at right now is I'm done comparing notes, Kendall. Okay. I can't, I
Yep.
want to help people, but I can't compare notes all day about, yep, and they do this and they do that. I realize there's some people that are still at the point where they got to get this poison out. I want to
Right.
express to them, do service. Okay. This works. You want to get out of your head, out of your case. You want to sleep, go help someone else in there.
Yes.
It just works. I don't know why. It just works. And, but the conversation I really, really want to have with you today is why, why can't these people see it? Why can't these people see the easy math of until you show up in person? That's your all your safety. That's your get out of jail free card. Show up in person. They want to make it about me. They want to make it about like, oh, it isn't my success or my failure. Really? You're rooting for my failure about
Right.
this mission? You're rooting
Right.
for my failure in this mission? You can't
Well,
look beyond your shit and say that it's not about how I'm making you look. It's not a competitive thing. Can we not use our executive function and get away from our monkey brain for 5 fucking minutes?
right. No, I mean, I feel like with me, my goal is to make myself obsolete to where what I'm doing right now is no longer needed. I
Don't
mean,
worry, AI is going to do that for you, baby, right?
right, yeah. Well, that's why I'm investing in AI. But
not
yeah,
not to
man.
derail you.
Huh?
Not to derail you.
Yeah, no, you're good. But yeah, no, I mean, again, man, I just unfortunately for the small group of us, and I was telling you this the other night when we were talking. I mean, whenever it comes to this monumental, game changing stuff, whatever you want to call it, it's always going to be a small group of people that are willing to pick up the load and do
For
the tough
everybody.
work. And then when we finally break through, that's when everyone else starts feeling safe to jump on board and support. And it sucks that it has to be that way, but
Yeah,
it's just
it's the
that's
human
history,
factor.
man.
Human
Yeah.
factor. Well, I got a little message for everybody looking to do that. Okay. When we launch our $1 billion lawsuit against the government, for doing this.
Yeah.
It ain't going to be for just everybody that didn't chip in. Okay.
Right.
We're going to look at who the brave souls were, who the people were willing to get it, who are the willing people that are willing to be selfless. Okay. Who are the people that are willing to do something other than me in this?
Right.
And those people are being served first, if not solely. Okay.
Right.
And so I hate to throw out, a little carrot,
No.
there,
Yeah.
but that's just also the reality. It's amazing how many people are very, very interested to come talk to me and ask about what I can do to help them. And, as soon as you start talking about what we need back, it's like, that's also a big sign on like, not everybody's a victim in this world.
Right.
All right. There's
Of
some
course.
wolves in sheep's clothing that love to play the victim. The narcissist loves to play the victim.
Yep. Yeah.
But,
Well, and with the whole victim thing, like even if you have been a victim, you've been victimized, what are you going to do? Dwell on it? No, you get your ass up and you keep moving forward and you figure out how to be victorious, basically.
I know. But I want to just also put out there because I'm talking to people and I've also experienced it. When you have the indignity of your
Yeah.
children robbed from you and the smear campaign coming after you nonstop and you're losing everything. And every day you're taking another hit. And there's just no, you got to be good to yourself.
Yep.
And, not every day can you put on your big boy pants and go out there and fight the world, man. I'm a big proponent of a couple of Saturdays, Sundays, you might need to stay crying in your pillow. And I think bigger men have all done it. So,
No, I'm with you on that. I mean, because I'm 7 years in this custody stuff, and I've now been in long enough to where like I kind of know the flow of things. So I'm like, all right, when Christmas comes around, I'm inevitably going to be hit with a huge like buttload of depression basically because I don't have my kid, but I'm prepared for it. It still really sucks, but I'm aware of it. And then I've kind of now like the last couple of years, I've started communicating that with certain friends because all of a sudden they're just like, what's going on? I'm like, well, it's this right here. So it's just like, yeah, I mean, I think the more you can do to kind of just prepare and know when things are coming, emotions, all that type of stuff, it can just make it a lot easier. So,
I
yeah,
got a lot of respect for people that survive this, that
me too.
survive every single day because when I was alienated, it was COVID was happening and we fled for a couple of months up to the Poconos. And I called it the area of the Poconos where you go to kill your ex-girlfriend because it was just so depressing, this area. Like a house that we rented, it was like spooked. Like we needed to get out of there. So
Okay.
I bought a Airstream, a little 16-foot Airstream, and I put a hitch on my car, not truck, because I'm in Manhattan, I can't keep a dually. Um, and we drove 9,000 miles in 26 states.
Wow.
And when I tell you there wasn't a 5-minute break in all those 6-hour trips of driving where I wasn't feeling the pain, the anguish of this alienation, of not being able to call my kids, of being separated from my kids. And I'm a guy. All right. I didn't carry this kid for 9 months in my belly. And I remember my mom passed away, from COVID, and I've never been the same because you have a special relationship to your mom. When I
Right.
see, and that's maybe why I've gravitated towards this mom case, because I just see this little firecracker as it's just violence against women. I said in one of my quotes, I was like, watching that court case was like being tied down and being forced to watch a 300-pound drunk come home and punch his 90-pound wife in the face, and then have the wife bounce up and say, sorry for getting in the way. It was my fault for getting in the way of your faith.
Right.
That's what was happening in this courtroom. That's what these like, and who are these judges that this gets them off? Who are these species of human that that come to this? I mean, it's this Nazi prison guard
Right.
mentality. I mean,
Well,
it's the psychological study of this is if it wasn't so evil, it would be the most interesting thing in the world.
Well, I honestly believe, I mean, I believe a lot of these judges and commissioners, they truly are what you'd consider psychopaths, narcissists. I think a good
Absolutely.
portion, honestly, I think a good portion of them are closet pedophiles and stuff like that. I mean, not to go too deep down the rabbit hole, but when
You
you're trying,
can't give humans this level of God, of king-like power, all right?
right,
Fucks the human brain up, right?
right,
But we're just such whores in this country for money. Everything has to be about money, 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 and money now, and money more, and money this, and it's like read a fucking history book, right? Like, we see where this where this train ends, right?
yeah, not
Like,
good.
we see where this train ends. But people, I want to be positive. No matter what on Friday, it's going to be a positive because no matter what of me and the people that I show up with, okay, 10 people there, and no matter what happens, Monica will know it. When I was in Rikers, the idea that no one would be fighting for me to get out
Yeah,
was the death of a thousand, cuts. The thought. I did. Okay, I did have people that, thank God, we're looking, we're helping me get out, and I did, and she's not, and they're making a statement about it. Yesterday was a message. It was, we know you loudmouths are talking, and we're going to punish her more for it right now. And I even
yep.
heard back from one of her best friends and people that, have been by her side, like almost like, oh, don't do this, don't do this. I said, I know, but can't you see? Don't you think Monica would rather go through a little bit more pain to get out next week than take the safe route and be there another year? These bastards, they're not gonna stop.
No,
They're not gonna stop until we stop them. And I said,
yep,
and I'm going balls in the face, and I'm saying my goal for these judges is to make your great grandkids change their name. Okay. That's the public shaming mission that I am on. If I have to come up with shit every single day for 365 days and aspire to be Joe Rogan size so that I could do nothing more than show you that you have no fucking God-given right to treat other
yeah,
human beings that way. You
yeah.
have no fucking right to do that. Okay. And especially like, ever notice that, there's no excess, competency award that these judges have to aspire to. All right. These are fucking morons. Okay.
Yeah,
These are not, okay, the top minds in the world, in case you want to know. All right. Another
certainly aren't.
another comment, right? And that plays a part because they know when they get smarter people in front of them, and then it just tickles their fancy to just show you what kind of power they have, But you know what? You'll win. You guys will win. You'll win. You'll win. You'll win. And you know what? Maybe you take me out. Maybe you take me out. But I know what I'm doing, what you're doing, what other people are doing is inspiring another guy, another girl,
Yep.
okay, to take another step, all right, to not off themselves today because there's hope, okay. There was a time in my life where I lost hope, you know,
Yeah,
and that's a scary place to be, to lose
yeah,
hope, and some brave, brilliant guy, another brain coach took a step outside of his world, his comfort zone, and took a risk to make a recommendation to me on something that he believed would help me. All right.
nice. Yeah,
Ketamine treatments when it was a time period that him making that recommendation, he could have lost his license. All right. And I was so blown away that he took that risk for me. Um, it just made me see that these small, great expressions of love and power from everyday normal people can matter in a huge,
yeah,
huge way. But I don't, um, I don't think that we have to keep doing all the heavy lifting. I think that we really need to be able to speak English in a way to people to say, you gotta get off your ass and participate. You have to. You
Yeah.
have to. It happens to be free too, which nothing else in this whole world. Okay, there's certain impediments that you could pray all day long. All right, there's no money trunk is going to drop from the sky. All right,
Right.
but people wake up and just realize whatever it is in the way of you being a team player here. We all can't, okay? Maybe I'm not the best guy to head up this movement or this aspect of the movement. And I pledge here today that when the next guy comes and I'm too tired and old and is ready to pass the baton, okay, I'm going to get in that mindset. I know it's not going to be natural. I know my PTSD could be pinging and I'm going to be like, me, no, 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 I know what I'm doing. But hopefully I'll have enough of a foundation of people around me to say, Dave, come on, let's take a look. What's best idea wins here? It's team.
Right.
All right, it's the team and it's the mission. Okay, it's not the individual here. All right, and I just, I look. I'm a loner. Okay, I left the
So
big
am I.
banks. I left the big banks. Okay, I got about 30, strategic relationships, but me and the two bulldogs are the entire management team of my
Yeah.
Wall Street firm, and we still do pretty darn well, for our people, but they're interested in me getting back to a full-time focus on my passion for money management, and so am I. I'm just looking to throw the kitchen sink at this now to try and see whatever I can do to just get the ball rolling down the other side of the hill.
Yeah.
And it's going to start with like, hey, listen, I've never organized a protest. I certainly did it in a week either. All right. I'm waiting for this to be a tremendous failure on that. But if it is, it's going to be a press conference. And there's going to be some other
You're filming the press
surprises.
conference, right?
We are filming
Okay. If you
at
don't
press
mind,
conference.
I would love to get that footage and I'll highlight it on the show and all that good stuff.
Yeah, you definitely will. When it comes time that I can talk fully about it, I will. At this point right now, there is a hush hush thing that's aspect to it right now. But it is the thing that I've been waiting for. It is the thing that I've always said what really needs to happen. And what we're calling it is the new 5 o'clock news. Right?
Yeah.
We know the industry's in disruption. The local news is in existential crisis. I don't even know what they're
They're
bothering.
dead. I keep telling people the news is like the traditional news is dead. They're on life support right now, but they're on
Oh
the
God, it reminds
show.
me of like FM radio, right?
Yeah.
Like, how do you go to work? Okay, this is the product we're gonna put forth. We're gonna play 2 songs and 50 minutes of commercials, and that's our business model. Like, you deserve to die.
Right.
Die, dinosaur. Boom.
Yeah.
Dinosaur. Go.
Yeah.
Go. All right.
Everything has its expiration date and they're on the way out and I could not be more happy, man. I mean, the
Oh,
podcast era is here, the information era of just free flow of information, it's here and we the people are now the news and I love
we
it.
are. We are. The difficulty and the thing that the 5 o'clock news did that only Joe Rogan and a few others have seemed to figure out is where is this global town hall to really get the conversation in one place in one voice? The one
Yeah.
thing that this movement is missing with all these victims around the country is it's a million yapping voices everywhere. My way, my way, my way, my motion,
Right.
my this, right? And doesn't work. Has
Yeah.
to be one voice, has to be something that works, which means
Well,
that
like
people
for
need to say, okay, not my idea is the best idea. We're going to get behind yours. And
right.
people are not in the mindset. They're too in fight or flight, right? You can't be in collaboration mode and fight or flight,
Right.
right? It has to be like a conscious effort to understand that about yourself, to understand you've got a damaged brain from this, right? The thing about the Chiardi case is what angers me so much is that they act like, oh my God, she's got mental health concerns. Well, no shit, any brain, all 7 billion, you put someone in solitary confinement, it is a when, not an if. They have a broken brain. They are insane. That's every judge, that's every lawyer, that's every single person. And these cocksuckers, I'm sorry, all right, can actually sit there and be like, she's got, mental health. Yes, because you fucking know that you caused it, that
Yep.
you were the fucking criminal abuser that did this. And it's one thing when you're doing it to me and other guys, okay? At least it's a man-on-man fight there, all right? But when you're beating up little moms, okay,
Right.
moms, because they were a little bit feisty and calling you out on your shit, well,
Right.
you know what?
Right.
We're not done calling you out on your shit. This is
Yeah.
the beginning of calling you out on your shit. It's
Yeah.
not the end. It's the beginning. Trust
Oh
me.
yeah. No, it's definitely the beginning. And I mean, I know me, man. I mean, I'm just like you're talking about teamwork, man, and that's what I'm trying to be. I'm kind of trying to set myself up to be that guy that kind of can just be that glue that helps bring this group and this individual over here and then connect them with here. And I'm just always trying to put out a word of encouragement. Like with dads, man, like dads, I think they really need to keep this at the forefront of their mind when they're going through family courts is do we want to pass this system on to our children? Do we want this system passed on, or do we want to step up now, clean house, get this done, and set up something better for the next generation?
But the other side, what they've done successfully is the first people to step up lose everything. The
Right.
first people to step up, okay, they go through a lot of trouble to make
Oh
sure,
yeah.
like you could look at these cases in the family court and say, where's the motivation to go to this level of effing evil? And I swear to God, it's mafia tactic. It's to show everyone, hey, this is the power we've got. And if you're going to step up and be Mr. Good Guy, all right, Mr. Truth Teller, we're going to take everything from you. And you can't blame people to sit there and say, I can't risk my job. I can't risk my kids. I can't
Right.
risk everything. Right. So there, I'll take, and whatever, the fact that there are some kamikazes that are willing to, go out there and do this. This Richard Luthman guy is the only journalist that I know with the balls to actually be so committed to be just absolutely, calling out the system on every single turn. And, he has got, he's growing bigger and bigger. And I just can't believe the only people that I'm going to say is to all the other journalists out there that we don't know, shame on you for not doing this. Okay.
Yeah.
Shame on you for selling eyeballs, right? The people out there that are specifically looking to put out controversy, specifically to make family court divisive. Okay, it's a men's issue, not a women's. It's a women's, not a like. Okay, seen that shit coming a mile away. You're a freaking ambulance chaser for journalists, But everyone's out there trying to make a buck, but it just seems like you can make a buck and do the right thing too. It is possible.
Right. Right. You
It
can
is
make money
possible.
ethically. Yeah.
It is possible. You might not be able to make the most, but like you can make a living not screwing people, right?
Right.
Not
Right.
lying, not cheating, not having a shit ethics and morals.
Yeah.
But I mean, there is a cultural evolution where, we prize, everything is about look at my car, look at my house, look at my this. Not a lot of conversation about what people did to get there. Right.
Right.
It used
Right.
to be my mother grew up, she was proud to say we can't afford this, right? It was middle class, like, no, we make this, and this is an appropriate expenditure for us. This is not an appropriate expenditure for us. And my mom had 4 kids. My mom stayed at home. My dad worked at like 18 jobs, but still, we went away on vacation every single year. We put 4 kids through college without one of us coming out with a loan. All right, which sounds like, a
That's
lie,
incredible.
a
That's yeah.
lie. This is a teacher too, right? He had three other jobs, but this is a teacher put four kids through school. He's a
Yeah.
freaking workhorse. This guy never had 12 cents on him his entire life. I can't. I swear, half the reason why I came to Wall Street was because I have trauma from like never ever getting like a Twix bar ever. Like, hey, Dad, can I have a Twix? No, you kidding me? I'm not gonna waste my money on that shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
One day I was
No,
like,
I
I'm gonna
get
buy all
that.
the fucking Twix in the world, motherfucker.
Yeah, yeah, no, I get that because like growing up, I'm just me, my mom, and my three sisters, little stereotypical white trash trailer park kid and all that stuff. And it's just funny because like I remember growing up, I'd go to other friends' houses and they were just like normal, like middle class kids, but to me, like in my eyes, I was like, wow, you guys are like really wealthy. And now like I look back,
Very relative, man.
yeah, yeah, and but like it's kind of motivated me too because like I'm trying to be that first person in my family where I'm trying to start building that generation, that legacy and that generational wealth. But I want to get it set up in a way to where it's like I'm passing the proper morals and values on to my kid and my kids so they don't just take whatever I build and then screw it all up. They actually have the right like morals and values installed so they can take what I did and take it even further and do whatever they need to do with it. But
Yeah.
yeah.
But the real weird reality is that the more wealthy you are, the more likely you're gonna fuck up raising your kids.
Yeah. Oh,
It's
yeah.
just
Yeah.
fundamentals, right? And it's just what it is. The New York, Connecticut area is plagued with middle class people that busted their ass to do really, really well to get above their parents and now spoil the hell out of their kids. And but we've all grown up. Let's say my dad, okay. I played baseball, football, and basketball. So the only job I could have in high school was waking up on effing Sunday morning at 4:30 in the morning to deliver 300 freaking pages of the Bergen Record. But like that was
Was that
50
a
bucks.
newspaper or
Yeah,
what?
that was 50
Okay.
bucks.
I
50
had a
bucks we
newspaper
got.
out myself. Yeah.
But my dad, this was his only day off. He wanted to
Okay.
teach me the value of a dollar. He could have given me 50 bucks, but the day he was off, he would wake up miserable as hell. Okay. And we called him Yosemite Sam. And oh my God. And you do not want to wake up on a Sunday at 4:30 in the morning and
Right.
put together 300 newspapers, right? And all that. And week in and week out, he did that. But you know what? I tell him all the time, man, you put an ethic in me to outwork everybody around me. And it's made me a proud man for my achievements. Okay. Or our fixed income strategy is top in the world, top into the top 1%. I created, an alternative way to deal with fixed income. And I was told I was crazy in the beginning. I was stupid. I was doing something wrong. I was doing something against compliance even. And I just knew what I was doing. And I tracked it. And we're on our 11th year of kicking the pants out of every other fixed income money manager on the planet. And I didn't go to Harvard. I didn't go to Yale. Okay. But Mr. Market, that's what I love about doing the right thing, right? It just cares. It's a scoreboard in the sky. All right. If you're making the right move and you're the smartest and you're the fastest and you want it the most, you're going to win. Doesn't matter who your daddy is, doesn't matter anything else. Right.
Right.
So to me, that's the only way to live. But am I training my son to do this? No, no, I'm not. We
Now,
know.
now is that intentional or I mean, what's your reasoning behind that? I'm just
Well,
curious.
yeah, well, no, well, number one, the only reason I'd be a totally different person if I wasn't alienated. Okay. I've just got back in his life for, it'll be a year in
Oh,
March.
wow. Okay, and
It'll be
how
a
long
year,
was that alienation? How long did
5 years, so
Jesus?
from
I'm
eight
on
to
3 years right
eight,
now.
from 7 years old to 12. So I left a 7-year-old boy where our biggest thing was heavy metal and we'd go to concerts and he had his headphones on and his middle name is Resner. His name is Evo Resner, right?
Okay, nice. Yeah.
And I took him, I saved up, man. We went front row, 9 Inch Nails at
I was
Radio
gonna
City
say Trent
Music.
Reznor or what? Is that yeah.
Trent Reznor. So we went to go
Okay.
see Trent Reznor front row center at
Nice.
Radio City Music, and
Okay.
he loved it. But what alienation does is I was into sports. He's not into any sports whatsoever anymore. I'm into rock. He loved rock at 7 years old. Doesn't like any rock at all. Won't put it on. Won't put it on. It changed him. I love him. He's a great kid. He's doing very, very well. But it changed who he is, as a person. Okay. And he's going to have hurdles in his life that I didn't have because of what happened. And
Right.
anyone who thinks, and I'm lucky as hell because my kids really do seem like they don't have anywhere near the repercussions that the other kids do. But it's still going to be with them for life.
Yeah.
It's going to be with them for life. And all I know is just me and my 16-year-old daughter, we have daddy daughter. We're like daddy daughter in love, right? It's not just
Okay.
love. It's like we're
Yeah.
in love,
Yeah.
right? She calls me all the time about everything. She called from the nurse, and yeah, I ran from Manhattan. I drove 2 hours to pick her up from the nurse, right? It's like, I gotta leave,
Yeah.
and I loved it, man. Like, it just, when you're starving, you get a cracker, right? What is
Right.
that, Ritz? That's the best cracker in the world.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's also given me rocket fuel to stay in this fight at this point right now, because if anyone has come close to getting on the out of this, the last thing you got any kind of energy to do is to just keep going and put forth for anybody else, right? The
Right.
system knows
Yeah.
how, if you do survive, you certainly aren't going to have any energy for anybody else.
Well, I
But
want to commend you for that too, Dave, because the fact that you're still, even though it seems like you've gotten things largely settled with your kids, I'm sure you're still dealing with some stuff. You have chosen to stay in the fight, and that's really commendable because me and my brother Kyle talk about all that all the time. Like we always say, like when we get our cases cleared up, we're sticking in this fight because again, we don't want to see other people go through this. So man, yeah, I
yeah.
applaud you for that. Yeah.
Well, thank you. But I have to say, it is helping me. What I noticed, and I think a lot of people do too, is the nature of the abuse of what we go through. It causes you to be consumed with this negative energy, right? This negative energy consumes your personality, because you're fighting all the time.
Yeah.
You're getting taken from, all right? You're getting stabbed all the time. But that negative energy it weighs on you. You don't make the right decisions. It affects your relationships, changes your personality to somebody that you don't like. And I have this little strange little technique. When I feel it, I just keep repeating the word positive, 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 positive. And I just think, and I just like, all right, anything that can happen to me, there is a positive head for me to be in to deal
Right.
with it, no matter what, which is always better. And literally, when I say positive, 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 and I'm focusing on whatever it is, just saying positive, 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 all right, in my own head, it lifts me up, right? And it lifts me out of it, right? And it's another tactic that I'll take anything that works, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
absolutely anything. But yeah, I think a big reason why we can't unite is so many of us have been so broken by the system that it is very, very difficult to shed that negative haze of negative energy on us. But it is a decision. It is a
Yeah.
decision. It is something.
I still have to check myself at times, like I have to remind myself because I'll still like, I mean, I mainly got past, but I'll still have these moments where I just want to fall into that negativity and that anger. But I'm like, dude, I can't do that, bro, because if I do that, then I'm going to start saying some dumb stuff. I'm going to start getting off track on my mission. Got no time for it.
Exactly. It's like when you're in that negative Nancy attitude, you're being a dick to the customer service rep, and you hang up the phone and you're like, God, what did I do that for? And I don't know.
Well,
But
and
it's just,
yeah, if I was being negative all the time, man, I would not be building wonderful relationships with people like you, Anthony Cancel, all these other amazing individuals now that I'm starting to build networks with around the country and hope like building friendships as well. So, I mean,
I keep hearing
positivity is
about
so
Anthony
huge.
Cancel. He's well known in the community. I look forward to. I think I spoke to him. I don't know. But yeah,
Really smart guy. Yeah.
another thing that I've been really, really trying, and I'm getting better at it. Not perfect, but this CIA guy, with the boofy hair, uh,
What's his name?
I don't know. He's on these podcasts. He's like an ex-CIA guy. He's all over YouTube. But he
Okay.
said something that was just really, really brilliant about, if you can truly empathize, if you could truly put yourself in a situation like really Cadell, like I had your day today. Like
Right.
everything, I'm in your head, I'm in your world. How are you receiving me? What are you hearing? What happened to you? Like, and then in any kind of relationship, if you could really do that, put yourself in the other person, it changes your relationship.
It does.
With everybody, with
Yes.
everybody. Because what do we all do? This person is trying to disrespect me. You need to come back and be like, no, this is, this. This is Cadell. He's not, doesn't have an evil bone in his body. He's not trying to do it. But it's amazing how much the brain tricks you. It's amazing.
Oh yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
I mean, I've gotten to a point now where I've gotten good. Like if someone leaves some really just snarky comment, I know they're just trying to do it to get me off track. So I don't even respond anymore. I just leave it be and that's it. All I'm here to do is put out my information and then work with like-minded individuals. That's it.
yeah, I got to bump up my numbers. I'm like 90%. Like 9 out of 10, I can just take it and rise above.
Of
But that
course.
1 out of 10 just gets me at the wrong day. And I have got a limited, tolerance for stupidity. And somebody just tees it up for me, and I'm just like, wackadoo. And then I'm like, oh, and I was like, the idiot deserved it, but I didn't have to get,
Yeah.
I don't have to get.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
So,
no,
work
definitely.
in
There is
progress.
time. Huh?
I mean, work in progress, but there's some real freaking morons out there that are just
Oh,
so miserable, and like it's just like, dude, do us all a favor. Go to a bridge and jump off already.
please.
Just
Please.
please,
Yeah.
just like you got to look at the facts at this point right now. No one's going to be upset if you jump off a bridge.
Yeah, yeah,
How's that for a nice little Valentine's Day message?
that's all right. That's all right. I think Valentine's is a pretty rough day for a lot of people anyway. So
Yeah, does anybody care?
now I honestly I don't care what people say. I think Valentine's is the most pointless, useless holiday. It's the most corporate holiday of all the freaking holidays. So I'm just like, okay, this is an excuse for chocolate companies and diamond companies just to basically make a lot of money off of people. I'm
Yeah,
like, I'm good.
yeah. It's a cha-ching. It's a, oh shit, I gotta buy you something.
Yeah.
Um, okay, but I don't know, man. I've been okay with solitude for some time now, and I was a
Yeah.
little Mary that always had to have a girlfriend my whole life. And
Okay.
for the first time in a long time, it's been kind of cool to just be a gross man and like,
Yeah.
pee on the
How,
seat.
lo- how
It's
long you
nice,
been
it's nice to
rocking
just pee
solo
on the
now?
seat. A couple of years now, man. A couple of years,
Okay.
like 2 years, right?
Nice.
And
Yeah.
then, but like I happened upon some more YouTube stuff about like no, man, solitude is great. Here's
Yeah. Yeah.
why.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, where were you in my life? Because it's like, when you're in a bad mood and you're separated and you're not, working from home and you don't see people a lot and everything, you got your saggy diaper that leaks, on, you know what I mean? But we are trained to feel like, oh man, if we're alone, we're doing something wrong, man. Like, oh, and it's like, I'm glad that there's this movement that's like, no, 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 man, think about it. Being
Yes.
alone, especially if you're an older person, right? You're not a kid anymore. There's some real benefits to that.
Well, I mean, being when you learn how to be okay being alone, I mean, I think it helps with pretty much every aspect of life. It helps you to stay focused on what you're trying to get done. It teaches you how to get things done by yourself without always needing everyone's help. And I personally, it's funny because I talk to people all the time. They're like, "You're such a social butterfly," like blah blah blah, and I'm like, "I'm
How
really
come you're
good."
single, Cadell? You're such a
No,
sympathy.
I'm
How
good,
come you're
bro.
single?
Yeah, yeah, I'm good.
Are
And
you
so,
gay?
yeah, I wish I was gay, honestly. I feel like my
I
life
wish I
would be a
was
little
gay.
bit
Double your
easier.
wardrobe.
Oh yeah, I always joke. I'm like, man, I wish I was gay. I feel like my life would be a little easier right now. But no, unfortunately, I'm not gay.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the other reason to be single is you have to have your head in a vice to get married, right? With the information that's out there right now, okay, and you're entering this contract in the state. I don't care. I'm sorry, ladies. All right. It's a different ball of wax here. You could do the ceremony, you could pledge your love to God or the universe or whoever, but you are insane for signing
Right.
that contract with the state. Okay, at this point, you're insane.
Right.
There's
Dave,
no
you're a Wall Street
excuse.
guy. So it's like, would you say then, it sounds like you're saying this, with the way the system is set up currently with marriage a bad investment at this point in our history?
I'm a financial planner. It is my job to scour the earth on what possible things can happen. All
Yeah.
the risks under the sun that can turn you from someone who's made it and has accumulated some wealth to something that can destroy your life. Divorce is 1 through 1,000 risks. There's nothing else. There's nothing else. It is not the same thing. It's not the same thing it was 10 years ago. It's not the same thing it was 20 years ago. If you're thinking that, and it's got a lot of reason to think that, all right. And then we all know the girl wants, the girl wants, the girl wants. You have to sit them down and you have to talk about setting up fundamentals properly. All right.
Right.
Setting yourself up for success. And a girl's going to say, well, if you won't marry me, then that means this. I'm saying, well, if you're going to force me to, then I know that you're not really a team player,
Right. There's the door. I mean, I
you
don't
know,
have time for it.
you
Yeah.
know, and it's a no go. It's not a maybe in certain, no, it's a no go.
Yeah.
Until this system changes, do it another way.
Well, and I'm glad because men seem to be waking up to it in mass now. And I think part of the reason is now is just because we have multiple generations now, where each generation, the amount of broken homes has vastly increased. Like almost 50% of the American population now is raised without the dad in the home right now. And so it's just like, and we wonder why we have all this dysfunction. And it's just, but yeah, yeah.
I think they're bullshitting us with that number because anecdotally, go to any school, if you see a kid with a parents that are together, you're like, oh, it's a unicorn. What?
So you think it's higher then?
Way higher,
I honestly don't doubt it. I don't doubt it at
way
all.
higher. I
Yeah.
think we're north of 70% divorce in this country, and I just think that they're just not updating the numbers.
Well, and what kills me about marriage and divorce is, man, like I would love to get married and have a freaking family, but like we were saying, right now it's a bad investment. And so it's like I can't risk it. I'm already paying my debt to the family courts right now with my custody case. I don't want to up that anymore.
But I still believe in the family unit
Me
more
too.
than anything.
Yeah.
Having that wife and the kids. I do think that's the ultimate quan. But I just think it has to be done without the contract with the state, no
Right.
matter what.
Yeah.
And it can. You can have an intelligent conversation nowadays about facts, right?
Yeah.
About facts. And listen, women are getting destroyed at a same rate as men. So this is not a men versus women thing. This is
No,
an
they want
equal
it to be a man versus
destruction.
they want it to be a
This is
man
an
versus woman thing.
equal opportunity destruction on both sides. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is the epitome of negative fundamentals on top of negative fundamentals on top of negative fundamentals.
Yeah. Yeah. 100% fact, man. Well, Dave, do you have anything else you want to break down for the people?
No, I just can't believe the world that I'm in, the life that I'm in right now. I'm literally feel like I'm risking Rikers Island again because I know I'm going to the belly of the beast. I'm going to the town of these corrupt judges that we've been calling out to have a U.S. constitutional right to free speech, to assembly, all right, to protest my government. But I also know enough about the system to know that they know that no one is stopping them from hurting me from trying to show the world like, oh, we're going to shoot whistleblowers like Dave Weigel.
Yeah.
And I know that I need to go forward because there's no going backwards, but I'm not interested in suffering anymore. And I hope if they do lock me up, that enough people rattle enough bells to try and get me out. That's
Well, I'm
all.
gonna send prayers out for you, brother, for all that coming up, man. Because yeah, I mean it's a lot, and you're not alone, man. I know you know that, but you're not alone. And our little army is growing every single day of men and women, good
We
men and
are.
women. And I honestly believe that's going to be one of our keys to making this successful is getting the good men and women to come together and start getting vocal about this and just start shaming the whole entire system as a whole and all the people too that are taking advantage of the system. Like, so
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And I just think if there's a way forward, understand that doing service for others heals you. And then when you're healed, then maybe you can have the right head to really be and put together this team and show up for one another. And we can become this force that takes this monster out, takes this is America's secret Auschwitz.
yep,
Okay. This is that serious. I don't
yeah,
say that lightly. It is destroying the US family from within with torment, and it's gotten to such a screaming level of urgency right now that
yeah.
I it's going to take everybody to just pitch in and do something for us, okay, and our kids, going forward.
Right.
And I hope we do, and I think we will. And I think we will.
We
I think we'll be positively surprised in the end. In the end.
well, I'm with you, brother. Where can people find you on social media, your website, and what's that Substack too? That latest.
The Substack is Richard Luthman. I mean, he's just a journalist, okay, that thankfully he's had an interest in my case. But I'm not the biggest thing is we want to collect all victims, all right, to do the data mining. All right. You got to show yourself. Okay. You can't just submit a
Tell the
form.
people a little bit about the data mining.
Yeah, the bottom line is that, the one thing that is missing with everybody's case is no one has said we've analyzed these 5,000 cases from 40 states, and we have found that 87% of men who have been arrested in the divorce proceeding have never had an infraction with the law before. That conflicts with known data of criminal behavior. All right.
and
That
this is your
proves
AI app
fraud.
that was able to prove all this, correct?
Yeah, at this point right now, okay, yeah, just basic training, okay, some basic, fundamentals like just the amount of time that, one party has to speak in courts. You add up all the transcripts and you say 16%. Well, I had six, that's not due process. But the point is we've set up this family court fraud warrior project group, okay, that you can find it through Dave Weigel on Facebook. I do everything on Facebook because you have to be a real person, right? There's no fundamental reason in the world for an anonymous anything,
And you
right?
guys, I'll have the links to his pages, everything in the description box. So make sure you check them out.
But
Please go to them.
we got to be honest, we're not looking for people that need to still hide. All right. If you're
Yeah.
ready to come forward and be counted and say, me too, this happened to me. Here's my story. Here are the culprits. We're not standing for it anymore. That's what this group is for. When we have 5,000 from most of the country, I could do the data mining and show the science of the fraud, which no one's done.
Well, okay, so this is what Dave is doing with the data mining. So Dave and his people, because I'm assuming you've worked with some people on this,
Yeah.
have created this AI to where it goes through and it scrapes out all this data from various family court cases to break everything down to basically prove that there is a bias going on in the court, that the court is not operating constitutionally. And so what Dave is hoping is you're looking for 5,000, is it 3,000 or 5,000 people total?
5,000, it'd be a big enough it would be a big enough data set to make it science.
So yeah, Dave is looking for 5,000 brave parents who are willing to put their case into this AI app We need 5,000 of you brave parents, and it will scan through everything and be able to prove without a doubt that the family courts are not acting in good faith. So this is something we all should be getting on board with. I fully support this. I love AI. I love what Dave, I love what you're doing with this. This is incredible.
It makes too much sense to combine these technologies. You've got permanent public record, which I always refer to the internet as. Okay,
Yep.
it's permanent public record, but it's got to be verified true, and then it can now be analyzed. All right. But the thing is, we have no access to the court systems because, as kids, can't have access. So we need the victims to put the data in. Okay.
Right.
We're
Yep.
bypassing this little shitstorm of their little scam of lack of transparency because through Facebook and social media, we have the ability to now connect. And I don't
Okay.
need 5 million, okay? 5,000. 5,000 people that'll stop the side fucking chats, all right? And just be tired of comparing notes and want to do something. But you have to be willing to put yourself out there publicly.
Now let me ask you
The
about
problem, the, the,
5,000
the
people.
culprits need
Uh-huh.
to see that there are 5,000 real human beings and US citizens that have registered on a public record, to say, me too. This has
Yeah.
happened to me. And we can ask 30 questions from everyone, and then we'll be able to get not every single answer, but enough that qualify as scientifically proving fraud in the family courts. And it's a
Right.
sin we haven't done it yet. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
because we just can't get on the same page and be one voice. And I'm sorry, okay, not everybody can lead. This is, okay, if you've got a better idea than me, put it forth. If everybody votes out a better idea than my idea, I'm behind it. If you don't have a better idea, shut the fuck up and get back. Get
Yeah.
in the back of the bus and fucking let somebody else drive for a while.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's like my brother Kyle always says, too many chiefs, not enough Indians. And it's just like, yeah, everyone's trying to be a chief. Everyone's trying to be a big boss. And it's just like, no, man, like we need everyone to just to embrace
Focus on your
whatever their roles
strengths,
are.
man. You know, like
Yeah.
Ray Dalio says, there's successful. The only difference between successful people and unsuccessful people is they both have strengths and weaknesses, but successful people know they have weaknesses. They know
Yes.
what they are, and they
Right.
have people and processes in place to deal with those weaknesses.
Right.
Fucking morons have an opinion about everything. Okay.
Right.
They have no weaknesses, right?
Okay.
Those are the people that never make it.
Before we get out of here, let me go back to the AI because I just want to clarify something. So let's say someone puts their case into your AI thing. All right, right. Let's say you got all your cases. Now, do they still have a certain level of privacy as far as their information? Like, can their information be presented in a way to where it doesn't necessarily expose them to the public, or how's that
Yeah,
work?
yeah, yes. A very big distinction. You're talking about two different things. The first thing is we need the 5,000 victims to register to the government that we exist and we are
Okay.
registering as victims. And they were only asking to put forth either a 3-minute video or if you're not comfortable in front of the camera, a written out, but not 18,000 page summary of your entire case. Just summarize it for us, but name names and try and think of the most egregious criminal acts against you, okay, that you could
Yeah.
put forth. Once we're captured there, the next phase is going to be those who want to voluntarily submit all their data. Okay, there's systems out there that can pull every single email between me, my wife, the doctor, the lawyer, the this, the that one. You just got to say, go ahead, man. Let Google at it. All right, let them pull it in.
Yeah.
But you know what? You got to be comfortable because it's about truth. So if you got
Yeah.
shit that you need to hide, okay, transparency's a bitch. It works both ways, right? So you got to be willing to live with the good and the bad, okay,
Yeah.
with the transparency. But
Right.
this is a way for reality to rule the day,
Yeah.
or at least authenticity to rule the
Yes.
day, to take these scumbag lawyers out of the system completely.
Right.
I mean, this
Yeah.
AI system can just replace them. Okay. Just
Yes.
replace them. Just
Yes.
replace them. It's a conflict resolution system. Hey, I'm having a fight with my sister. Okay. Here's what she said. Here's what I said. Blah, 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 blah. AI says you were wrong, Dave. Fuck. Okay.
Right.
What are you going to do? All right. It's a sum of
Right.
all, human knowledge. Right.
Yeah.
So, but I do still think it's better than what we're doing now. We're seeing the utmost limitation of human ineptitude. Okay. Like, let AI take over some of the shit.
I agree. Like I've been thinking about this for a year or two now. What I want to develop an AI app that's installed in the courtrooms. And what it does is it monitors everything. And anytime like a judge like makes some type of ruling that's unconstitutional or attempts to, the AI can just shut it down and be like, sorry, that goes against the
This
Constitution.
system would not last past freaking bailiff. Who's the judge? The AI will explode in like fraud. I'll be having shit conniptions like fraud,
I know.
fraud, 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 fraud. Just them walking in the room, right?
Yeah, that's giving me sweet dreams just thinking about it.
One can dream, baby. One can dream. But listen, it's there. We need the data. We need the
Yep.
data because we can't get the data from the courts, not without politicians changing laws, and they're not going to do that to bust
Right.
up a multi-billion-dollar industry that pays for their reelections. So this
Right.
only works with us doing it. Only works with us doing it.
So 5,000 brave parents. That's what we need to be willing to put their case in this AI app so we can get the data we need to prove without a doubt that the family courts are not doing what they're supposed to do. But all right, Dave. I think that that's a good spot to end it, brother. I appreciate you, man. It has been just a continued blessing getting to know you more, and it's awesome having you back on the show already. And yeah, man, I'm looking forward to just seeing what we can all do together. So
It's great because technically, on paper, we shouldn't get along. Like Wall Street jerk off, hippie out from the West Coast,
no, dude, I honestly like it's funny because I haven't brought this up yet, but I would love to set up a time to kind of pick your brain about investing all that stuff because I've been investing since 2019. I'm in gold, silver, crypto. I got some stocks and stuff like that, AI
Gold
and
and silver,
everything.
baby. Gold and
Right.
silver, baby.
And and one of the rules is like if you want to get to that next level, you need to surround yourself with people that have skill sets and know things that you don't know. And so it's like that's my mind state. I'm like, all right, yeah, I need to get
Successful people hire and empower. They
right,
don't micromanage. They
right.
figure out and they make people better at their expertise.
Yeah.
They elevate. They
Yep.
elevate their people around them, right? And I don't know, but don't listen to me. I'm the freaking guy's going through, divorce and had my entire net worth seized. I should have 10 million in the bank. I should be retired at this point right now. And I decided to spend every single dime fighting this system. I just wanted my kids to know that I had a choice. I could
Yeah.
have told the Wall Street, move and just been like, take the kids, I'll take the Russian girls, and I'll see you in South Africa. Well, I was like, you know what? That's a shitty. That's that. I don't want that on my tombstone.
It's empty. That's an empty life in the long run
An
doing
empty
that.
tomb. That's a shitty tombstone. Here lies Dave. He bought a lot of shit.
Right. Hooked up with a bunch of Russian chicks.
Yeah, like that's difficult.
Yeah. All right, brother. Well, yeah, dude, awesome. It's been a pleasure, dude. And yeah, we'll definitely chat soon. Again, folks, before we get out of here, Dave, let everyone know where they can find you real quick.
Family Court Fraud Warrior Project on Facebook or Dave Weigel on Facebook. We're leaving it on Facebook. We want real people that we can verify are real people.
We want
Real people,
5,000 real people.
real people. We're bigger than them. There's more of
Yep.
us. There's more of
Yes,
us.
Chris. Amen, brother. All right, you guys, I will have the links to all of Dave's information in the description box below. Make sure you like this video, leave a comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And Dave, once again, thank you, brother. It's been a pleasure. And until next episode, y'all stay safe. Love you, and God loves you even more. Peace.